Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic, and we've got some breaking news to talk about in the Bachelor in Paradise world. We have Natasha on Clickbait podcast talking about her experience in the Great Unfollow, the Monday Massacre, Bloody Monday, the Great Unfollowing that left Brendan Moraes with half of his following that he started with. And of course, Natasha went from 78,000 to, boy, she's creeping up on 400,000 followers. Do me a favor, hit the like button and subscribe over here. I am doing this for the right reasons or the wrong reasons, depending on who you ask, but we're here nonetheless. So let's get into this. First things first, I'm going to share this story. Pieper's got an exclusive statement she released to Us Weekly, and then I'm going to share a clip of Natasha's conversation on Clickbait podcast with a little recap there. So tons to talk about. The story keeps evolving. A he said, she said, apologies, trying to cut the hemorrhaging of followers, or unfollowers, I should say. Pieper James wants to make things right with Natasha Parker. I'm not an extension of Brendan. Okay. Throwing the guy under the bus. They must be dead as a doornail. Are they still together? Here's her statement. I didn't go into paradise with the intention of hurting anyone, nor would I ever want to be the reason why someone had a bad experience. I went in excited to see a guy that I had connected with and liked before the show started filming, and was looking forward to seeing if that connection would grow into something more. The 24-year-old reality TV personality told Us Weekly in an exclusive statement. I had a friendship with Natasha before the show and had spoken to her about me and Brendan talking. With that said, I am truly sorry for any hurt that I caused her and hope that I can get the opportunity to speak to her soon and make things right. There they are. Pieper went on to address her initial statement and how reality TV isn't real, in which she reminded her followers on Tuesday, September 7th, that Bachelor in Paradise is an edited and produced series. I'm not an extension of Brendan and his actions. I don't condone dishonest behavior. I got caught up in the moment while I was with Brendan in Paradise, and while I don't fully blame editing, it doesn't always tell the whole story. You got to agree with her there. Brendan came under fire earlier in the season after the cast of Bachelor in Paradise discussed reports that he and Pieper dated pre-show, so we got into all that. While Brendan continued to downplay the nature of his relationship with Pieper, she admitted to the Clickbait co-host that they went out 10 times and were dating without labels before production began. The twosome were subsequently seen discussing their Instagram follower counts, which have been plummeted, and Brendan has also been called out for dissing Natasha for having no other prospects on the show. He broke his silence via Instagram stories on Wednesday with an apology. We already read the apology, not going to get into that again. So yeah, let's keep it going here. I'm going to play for you guys a clip of what Natasha, Tasha, and Joe have to say. This is just a clip from the Clickbait podcast. Make sure to listen to the whole thing.
The truth is, you could go on the show, gain a large platform, and it could be really great. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. We all have it. We're able to take advantage of it. Amazing. But that is not the purpose of the show. The purpose of the show is very simple. It's not about the drama. It's not about all the bullshit. It's actually meeting somebody and seeing if you could actually fall in love. That's it. That's the only point of the show. So, to go on and talk about followers in Instagram, how could you be that dumb to talk about it on camera, on a mic, and just expose yourself?
But also at the same time, it's not even that they're being dumb. That's just who they are. Like, that's what they want. They're not being dumb. That's actually showing their true colors. So,
yeah.
In fact, I'd rather have you do that. Be real with it. If you're here for followers, say it.
Well, but it's also the like intention, right? Like to have the intention, like you were saying, to go on the show and have a real connection with someone and meet someone and date someone. Like I said, when the whole reason why I went on the show, really having Raven and Adam on our podcast, I was like, they so damn cute. And like to think that they met in paradise and they both were just looking for an authentic connection, and whatever comes after that. But the intent to go somewhere, to bamboozle someone, to lie, to scheme, to whatever for an actual following, that's not dumb. It's malicious. It's ridiculous. It's like, what world are you living on?
Well, I remember talking to you before the show because you were really questioning Natasha, you were really questioning if you wanted to go on, and I was really trying to convince you that it could be great. And your thing was, I really just want to meet somebody because I'm sick of being single. I'm sick of being single in the city. I'm over it. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I mean, and that's,
Mhm.
and I said, well, that's exactly. Then you should go on the show because you're going on. I hate to say for the right reasons, but that is the right reason to go on.
Right.
And yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with going on and then knowing in the back of your head, sure, like other opportunities can happen from it.
Right.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that, but you have to be going there because you're open.
Right.
Because you have
Right.
to be fucking open when you're going on a show to date people. And when you're not,
Yeah.
somebody will get hurt along the way.
Right. Right. And you think to yourself, like, even in the city dating, yeah, anything can happen at any time. You meet fuckboys here, you meet fuckboys there. It's like going on the show, you think, at least me being naive, you would think that people are on this show for the same reasons you are. So
Right.
it's almost like a safe space, right? Like it's almost a safe space. And although there's people on there who are there for the wrong reason, this is a thing that, threads throughout the show and throughout the franchise, and people continue to do it. When someone, you have a choice to trust people or not. And
Yeah.
I make the choice to trust people more times than not. And that's exactly what I decided to do in this situation.
Which you should have, because that leaves you should have done that, because that's the only way you would have actually fallen in love. So at least
Absolutely.
at least you did it the right way.
You gave it your all. So on Monday night's episode of Bachelor in Paradise, well, I feel like the cat is officially out of the bag, and true colors were shown for Brendan and Pieper, and Natasha was in a crossfire of really this sick manipulative game that two people had, were trying to pull on Paradise. And what we're talking about is Brendan and Pieper. There's always been this rumor that they were dating before Paradise. But I think that Brendan was constantly kind of reassuring you, Natasha, with compliments and just these words of affirmation saying like, oh, it's only been one or two times. Oh, it's been 2 times since him and Pieper had hung out, as well as they had, you and him, Natasha and Brendan, have had more in-depth conversations than even Pieper and him have had. And it was really just like this casual crush, if you will, or like interest, but nothing more than that. And that you were truthfully his interest. Am I correct?
Yep.
And basically, I feel like you were questioning from week to week, like, why do I know that there's a connection here, but it's just like really not developing into anything more. Like there's just a disconnect when it comes to an actual romantic connection, which is essentially why you guys are in Paradise. You're not looking for some friendships. You're looking for a love connection. And that just was something that bothered me just watching you mull over week after week and just trying to spot it. But truth came out this week when Pieper came down those stairs with the date card. It didn't seem to hesitate for 1 second. She knew exactly who she was taking on that date because she had already thought about previously how her plan was going to go down with talking to Brendan, dating Brendan, being on the beach with Brendan. And they were just going to be, I don't know, this couple of Paradise. I really don't know what the end goal was. I really don't get it.
Yeah, I don't think Pieper understands the way the show works. I don't think she understood the way
either of them understand the way the show works.
But yeah, I the end goal was like for Pieper to come in later and just be like, I'm coming here for Brendan and I'm leaving with Brendan. It was strange. The whole thing was like,
well, regarding that, I have to say, I think that, and I could be completely wrong, just my impression and my personal opinion is that I think this started with Brendan. I think this was a plan that he had in his head. It was something that he wanted to do. And I think that he kind of gave this elaborate explanation to Pieper and she kind of just went along with it and they went to Paradise. because the way that Brendan talks about it is like, we have this, if we were to stick to the plan, we would have gotten to the end of this thing, as if it's fucking Survivor and there's like $1 million prize at the end of this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they both had. And the thing was, if they did have a plan, their stories didn't align.
Well, also the $1 million thing at the end, what it seemed like was the $1 million follower. You know what I'm saying? From at least that's what it seemed like in their reasoning of being there, because that's what they were talking about, right?
Yeah, I think that they obviously, it was okay. So,
all right, this is getting hard to listen to, guys. So let's just go to the actual recap notes here. Getting a little hard to listen to. So the good people at Reddit put this together. Tasha mocks Pieper, talking about Us Weekly and how shallow they are. Joe says he didn't know the extent of the Brendan stuff with Natasha. Of course, a lot of the things we didn't find out till after, because there was the conversations on the daybed where he thought he was trying to be off camera by scratching the mic or whatever. So Tasha, let's see. Natasha says she went on Paradise because of Raven and Adam, and she said, they could work out. We could figure this out. We could go line item by line item down what was just said here, and you can listen to the full thing. Again, I criticize the actual entertainment quality of these podcasts. I think they're like hot dumpster fires. I really do. And it's a lot to get through, because it's a lot of he said, she said. It's a lot of regurgitating what already went down. But the truth is, you've got some powerful people here in Bachelor Nation, alumni, Tasha, Grocery Store Joe. They have giant platforms here. Natasha, now she has a giant platform. Good for her. And I actually thought they were going to try, settle things down a little bit. I thought they were going to be like, you know what? Everything's fine. Because a lot of times when there's a fight that happens, there's like a mea culpa. There's kind of like, we all still love each other. But now they're saying no. The more we're finding out, Tasha's saying, or that Brendan's friends came up to her and said that he lied to them. Pieper, with the Us Weekly kind of save face statement, is kind of throwing Brendan under the bus. And maybe that's what he wanted. Maybe Brendan said, you know what? Throw me under the bus. Do what you got to do. I made, because a lot of some of the big issues are not that Pieper showed up. It's that they could have had this grand plan set up, Pieper and Brendan, to get Pieper and Brendan onto the beach and get their following count up and all this. He didn't have to use Natasha that way. I'm guilty, along with a lot of you guys, of thinking Natasha was in on the ruse. It was almost too good to be true. It was like, okay, Natasha clearly sees he's not that into her. And then they're saying that they're upset that Brendan kind of used his divorce to kind of go slow. Like, I've been divorced before. Let's just take things slow. Clearly, he was just playing defense. He was draining the clock, waiting for Pieper to show up. Let me know what you guys think about all this. Of course, I'm not going to play the whole thing. I could give you another random moment here. Let's fast forward 20 minutes and see if it got any better. I don't know if it would.
I'm very grateful to everyone who has reached out to me. I really, really am. I don't really know how to take all the attention, because I never wanted this. I had friends reaching out to me and be like, how do you feel? How does it feel? And it's like, none of this feels good. Yeah. I didn't want any of this to happen.
Well, of course not.
I had to go through all of that, actually.
Yeah, and I thought about maybe I never should have went to Paradise because this isn't worth it. And but through everything, there's lessons that you learn about yourself and you learn about people. And, there's a lot more Paradise coming up, and for people to see and what happens. And and I'm just really grateful at that. And it's just really hurtful when people say things and run with things that are untrue.
But yeah, that's
all right. Get Natasha a raise. You paid her for what she was worth at 78,000 followers. Now that she's literally pushing her way to 500,000 followers, give her a pay raise, Bachelor producers. Put your money where your mouth is. She's a bigger voice, and through no fault of her own, is drawing a ton of attention to the show. This coming Tuesday episode is going to be wild as we sort of continue to, if Pieper and Brendan already said all these things on camera, what else haven't we heard yet? You guys know what I mean? The big deal was that their stories didn't align. Let's just break down the fourth wall. Brendan, get out there, get on the podcast, and just say what it is. Yeah, I really was draining the clock waiting for Pieper to show up. it's probably the worst thing that you could do to someone else is take, advantage of their time and take advantage of their heart. And that's the only place he can come from, is complete humility. We'll see if he gets there. Let me know what you guys think. Tons of more content coming up. I've got some psychologists we'll be talking to, play some of your voicemails. Lots to do talking about this. The story that keeps going, the great unfollowing. We'll be back later. Bye now.